Hello, my little potato, you beautiful soul. Well, I always like to start off with I love you. So, I love you. Um, today's kind of like today was kind of a weird day. And I'll maybe talking it out will help me to see it as less weird. So, first is that I woke up this morning and I followed this person and they said when you're in asking for something. We follow a formula of praise, pray, praise. And so I woke up this morning. I woke up I woke up several times, but besides that, I woke up kind of early and I woke up and I had that like moment of clarity. And I said, okay, well, while I'm up, I'm going to pray. And so I prayed. And so when I prayed, I was like, I'm going to pray. And so I followed the formula pray, pray, praise. And so I was thankful. I was thanking God. I said, thank you so much for this situation that I'm in with my parents. Thank you that I'm allowed to, that, my parents allowed me to come back home and live with them and live rent free. Thank you that, I have access to a car if and when I do need it. Um, Thank you that I've lived for the past over 2 years, honestly, without having a job. And people would say, oh, well, you don't need, like, somebody would say, "Oh, well, you live with your parents." And I said, "Yes, I do live with my parents, but that doesn't mean that they financially support me and give me money, right? That means that I have to make it work somehow, right?" And so the past 2 years, I've made it work. And so I was grateful for all of that. So I'm like, thank you for my health. Thank you. And I started like, thank you for my friends, because I used to think that I didn't have a lot, but lately, like more people have been coming up and things that I've been able to do for people. And like, so I'm grateful for, and so I started being grateful for all my friends and I started naming them by name and just all of those things in the situations. And man, when I was doing that, when I was praying, like my body felt so good. Like it was like, I don't know how to explain it. Is that like my body just felt lighter and happier. And then of course I prayed and I said, God, I'm asking for, obviously I'm asking for success with my company and I'm asking for um, the means in which to move and that you make it easy for me, right? And, all of those things. And then I ended by thanking him again for all the things that I didn't think of the first time around. I mentioned them the second time around. So I did that. And then I fell back asleep. But it felt really good. And then afterwards, I woke up again later and I woke up and I did my meditation that I do. Um, And after that, I got out of bed and I did my morning workout, right? And now that I have a playlist to go with it that I listen to, it keeps me motivated. And then I'm like, okay, so I did that. And then started to get ready, got ready, went downstairs, made something to eat, came back upstairs, and then I was on the phone with my friend. And then when that was done, I went and recorded. So I recorded two. I finished chapter 7 of The Wind in the Willows. Then I recorded chapter 8. I started to record chapter 9, but then I got tired. So that one will be finished recording tomorrow and uploaded the day after. And then I'll start doing that. And then um because recording takes a while. And then after that, I did go I did. I said, "Oh, you know what? Let me go get the mail because I've been waiting on the mail, thinking that it's going to be here soon." And so I went to go get the mail, and on the way to the mail, I saw my neighbor, and my neighbor has a really nice yard, and it's quite large. It's a corner lot. It's huge, but he always decorates it too. And so I walked by, and I just was like, I just said, "Hey, you do a really good job decorating, and I just appreciate it." So we ended up talking for a little bit, and he is interviewing for jobs. So I told him I'd say a prayer for him. But then I also told him, he said he's been out of work since February. And I said, congratulations on getting interviews because apparently they're very difficult to get. So, um, encouraged him on that I would say a prayer for him. I did, and then I went and got the mail, and there's no mail. Okay, it was like 4:45 at that time, and I said, okay. Um, and then I came back upstairs. I finished recording. That's when I was like, okay, let me record videos and make this chapter 7 video. And I somehow got logged out of CapCut, but now I'm back in. Um, so I'm okay there. And then someone reached out to me and said, hey, why don't you make art therapy videos? And, kind of like this. And I don't know what to make, like, uh, I, I don't really know. Maybe I'll make to video tomorrow and just show my process for making videos. I have to find my supplies, but I can show like a simple, not a simple, but I can just show something. We'll see how that works out. And then my ring light is missing somehow. I think it's in my sister's car. I don't know, it's gone. And then, I had dinner. And like, what was the funniest thing was that there was like cabbage today, and it was raw cabbage, and I picked some off and I ate it, and I was like, man, this is delicious. And so I was eating it like chips, and my sister was like looking at me and like, hmm. But I did find a potential recipe for this Sunday. It is pineapple ribs with coleslaw and honey butter cornbread. Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna make. I wish we had a double oven because then I could make the honey butter cornbread at the same time. But maybe I bake that earlier, and I will um do the cornbread later, right? And then, because just ribs and coleslaw and honey butter cornbread. Is that enough food? Because you know I love coleslaw. Um, so I'm intrigued about this meal. Um, but I think that's what I'm gonna make. And then I'm like, should I make 2 racks of ribs? Because that's another question. Should I make 1 rack of ribs and 2 racks of ribs? And then the coleslaw and then the cornbread. Because my mom made soup. She made beef rib soup with the ribs, and she used 1 rack of ribs for all 4 of us. But we didn't eat all of them. But when it's for a barbecue, like a few ribs a person plus cornbread and coleslaw. What else would you put? Beans? These are things I have to think about, right? But the coleslaw, and I'm like, do I make potato salad or egg salad? Not egg salad. These are just things that I'm thinking out loud. Or maybe that will be enough, right? But maybe I can make a macaroni and cheese. No, that goes in the oven too. I maybe I'll do 2 sides. 'Cause I, or but the honey butter cornbread is kind of like dessert in itself, so then I don't need to make dessert. Decisions. And then I did watch my video for school tomorrow. I watched it today. I was I was looking at my spreadsheet because I'm working on color coding it such that I know who I've reached out to and I know who I need to reach out to. So I need to make it such that, because right now there's a bunch of yellow, but and then I have a meeting tomorrow at 12:30, and then I have another meeting at 12:30, 12 hours later. So tomorrow's message. Today's earlier, because I'm kind of in that weird space, and I thought, well, maybe if I go to sleep earlier, it will help with my brain and like the swirling thoughts of, well, you didn't really do much today. But I also like my classmates that was talking about her, one of her clients, and she showed me some of the work that she did for this person. And I reviewed it and I looked over and I said, this is great. So I was able to encourage her on that. Um, I did watch the thing for school, but I think because I'm in this, I'll be honest, I've been getting in my head a lot lately. And I did listen to one podcast episode that's on my research list of podcasts to research. And I just I think I'm getting in my own head because on the outside, I I'm not very successful, and I have been like she asked the one person like, "Oh, how long have you been in business?" And probably been in business for a year, if that, because I was in school last year. I was literally in school last year, just starting, and I don't like. I think also it's hard to see when you're in it how much progress you've made. And especially for someone like me, like I know I can be hard on myself and I'm working on it and I will get there and I am getting there and I'm on my way there. It's just that in the moment, and I think it's especially because like so my three classmates, and I know I'm not supposed to compare, but like the two of them have jobs and the third one is not have a job, but she does have a family. So she has her husband, her two kids, and like all that going on. And me, I'm just me. And I'm by myself. And granted, I do have all these friends, right, that I can reach out to, and I'm so grateful for them, but I can't always reach out to, or I feel weird just reaching out about certain aspect of my life that I'm just, but then when I do reach out to them and talk to them, so basically I just need to reach out more. It's just what I need to do. And I did make my 2 TikTok videos today. I made a progress video about where I am now, admitting that I haven't been very consistent. I did share my playlist, the actual workout itself, and a 2 week update, which I think I'm doing okay. It looks like it's improved a little bit. And I am grateful that, the workout and for the music and for the playlist, 'cause it made it a lot more fun. Excuse me. And I made an update video because I went to the store this weekend and I tried on the shoes, so I was showing somebody on TikTok and she was like, "Oh my God, those shoes are so cute." I'm like, so, and honestly, it would be so me that my first pair of Louboutins would be the sparkly sneaker ones. Because that's the one I would get first. I mean, the tie-dye ones were nice too, don't get me wrong. And the new Diorce's. Well, actually, the new Diorce's were cheaper. So maybe I would start with the new Diorce's because those were the most cost-efficient ones. And then as I move up, then I'll get the next pair and the next pair. That's a better aspirational thing. Um, but yes, that's kind of why I was in a weird place today because I didn't feel like I did a lot, but then sometimes I tell you this and then you're like, and then you say, but you did do a lot. Maybe it's not conventional, but I'm not a conventional person. So nothing about me is ordinary. To me, it's ordinary because this is my ordinary life, but from the outside perspective. But yes, I did upload my video. I said I was going to. I didn't really say much about, what I was going to do today. I just had those three things. I didn't have much written, and tomorrow I have my 2 appointments. So, see how that goes. Can't wait to tell you. As always, I appreciate you taking time out of your day to listen to me and letting me talk things out. I really appreciate it more than you know. But thank you for listening. I love you, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.